we were approached by Dragon's Den and we turned them down because we didn't own our company. Funnily enough, at the time, I got this email from America and it said, I'm very intrigued with your business and I think it's a great business. Have you thought about launching in the US? I've Googled who she is and she's a billionaire businesswoman.
Samantha Holt, award-winning founder of Perky, Pear, the innovative breast lift tape brand, redefining body confidence and leading a wave of female-founded innovation, inspiring women to turn passion into business.
What were you doing figures-wise after 24 months? What was your turnover?
We don't need $1 million. We need connections because money doesn't work unless you work and strategy works.
PRs and marketing.
Oh, yeah,
they are absolute liars.
You spend a lot of money before you actually know what's going to work. Because I think sometimes people expect to launch a business and everything that they're doing is going to just be effective straight away.
Still doing influencer marketing.
We got to 7 figures before we even did Facebook ads. We used to use influencer marketing as like acquisition, which is crazy.
You are obsessed with new product development. What have you got coming up?
We're kind of going to be bridging the gap between lingerie and...
Sammy Holt, thanks for coming back to the Elle Sera Podcast.
It's okay. It's nice to be here.
Good.
Can't believe
Okay.
It's been 2 years.
Been 2 years, and we're going to catch up on what's been going on with Perky Pear. But for the listeners who didn't listen to your original episode, give me a quick rendition of what Perky Pear is.
Or like an elevator pitch.
Yeah.
So Perky Pear, we were founded in 2016, launched in 2017. We're an innovative lingerie solutions business. So it's essentially boob tape, but we design everything. Well, I design all the products myself. So it's very much designed by women with women's bodies in mind, not a one size fits all like other boob tape was previous to 2016. It's cup size specific. We cater from an A cup to a H cup. It allows women to go braless whilst being lifted. It's sweat proof, motion proof, and we've got a whole range now. And we're just all about women feeling good in their clothes. And we turn 9 next year.
Amazing. It's a brilliant business. I actually used your products for the first time when I got engaged. I had a beautiful backless dress on. I didn't know I was getting engaged that evening, but I was there doing all my boob tape, to completely like, wow, look at me. And Danny was helping me cut it all into position.
Did you have an inkling then if you're like, well...
I honestly didn't. No, honestly didn't. He was just like, let's go for dinner. I was like, yeah, cool. But yeah.
That's good then that you were prepared.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was looking nice. But brilliant business. And I thought at the time, I was like, wow, these are brilliant. They honestly, genuinely are brilliant.
That's good that you think.
Like, honestly, and I thought,
I wear them.
and I remember.
We wear them every day. We just have a limitless supply. So when we say we don't wear a bra, I don't think people believe us. But I'm like, I don't, other than if I've got like a sports bras, obviously. Sports bras and Perky Pears is like all I wear. Because it's like, otherwise I'm just not wearing anything.
It's crazy that. Yeah, so you don't even own a bra.
Don't own like, I since starting the business in 2017, I've never gone into a shop and bought a bra. So it's been like nearly 9 years.
Crazy. And I went and got measured the other day, and she was like, "Yeah, your bra will only last you 6 months." And I'm like, "Are you joking?" Like she's like,
"Yeah,
crazy.
You're supposed to get measured every 6 months as well," which I didn't know.
No.
Yeah. Some people are like, "Oh, I'm a double D." I'm like, "Are you?"
I couldn't go through a bra every 6 months.
No.
I thought that was ludicrous.
Everything's just
but I just was like,
quality
you're just trying to sell me more bras.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But no, it's a brilliant business. I've personally used the products and I think they're brilliant. So what's been going on since in the last 2 years?
Gosh, in the last 2 years, well, I think 2 years ago, was my son, I think he was 7 months old. Something like that. He's now 3. So obviously very busy trying to juggle mum life and business life. Both of us are. And my twin sister, she's an owner as well. And she has a 4-year-old. So we've been very busy with that. And we've launched some new products. We've got a sweetheart tape now, which is for strapless and thin strap dresses, like a obviously ready to wear solution. And then this year specifically, end of last year, we fully own our company again because for a long time, which would have been the last time we saw you, we didn't own our company in full. We had a US shareholder and she owned a whopping 45% of our business.
Wow. So take me back. So you met this investor. I don't know. How did she come on board in the beginning?
So we launched in March 2017 and literally within 2 years, it was 2019. And we were like the leaders. We'd already obviously broken into retailers. We were on pretty much like PLT, Boohoo, and Misguided. So it was going really well for us. But then obviously, like anything, if you are original, be prepared to get copied. So we noticed copies coming onto the market. And at that time, we were like, we need kind of like a cash injection. Obviously, we were, very much bootstrapped, like yourself. I started the company on my own in my mum's living room with £10,000. So, and we were profitable within our first 2 months, and cash flow was always good. But when it comes to sort of really getting out there, we felt like we needed something that was just going to propel us forward a little bit, just so we can get ahead of anyone. Because my fear was someone's going to take my idea, a bigger company, and you never know. We sort of always work like someone is literally like right behind you, and I think that's a good way to work. So funnily enough, at the time, we were approached by Dragon's Den, and we turned them down because at the time, this was 6 years ago now, or how long ago? 2019. Yes. So that was 6 years ago. And it was a very different channel. It wasn't the sort of same show as it is today. It felt very much like they berated a lot of businesses that went on there. So we were like, we don't want to do that. And really, strangely enough, like when I started the business, loads of things always presented itself to me when I needed it. And I ended up getting this email. This was like 2 weeks after Dragon's Den approached us. And I got this email, and it was just from a woman from America. And it said, I'm very intrigued with your business, and I think it's a great business. Have you thought about launching in the US? And I'd love to help you with, she said distribution in the US. And at that time, we had like 30% of our business coming through the US. We actually had mainly US customers at the beginning, which is really random. There's a funny story behind that. Fat Man Scoot's wife posted about us. So we were like, we knew that there was a demand for it in America. There was no products like it there as well.
Were you sending stock over there to a distribution center and then them sending it out to America?
We didn't have a distribution for 2 years. We just sent it directly from our HQ. Yeah, right. We would do it UPS, even New York. They got it within 2 working days. So, but we knew that we wanted to go that extra. We wanted to take it further, and we wanted to, launch in the US properly. So I got the email from her, and I was like, okay. And then, so I sort of wrote back saying, yeah, I'm interested in distribution. We already have 30% of our sales coming through the US. And then she emailed back, and it was quite an aggressive email, which is very, when I say aggressive, it's aggressive sort of in a business way, where it's sort of like, I want to bring out a product like this. I have a legal team who can basically, I know what I could bring out that wouldn't infringe on your products. But I don't want to do it on my own. I don't want to start my own brand. I want to essentially just do it with you. I want a slice of the pie. Her exact words were, I want a slice of the pie. So I was thinking, what is she talking about? I was sort of a bit taken aback, and obviously,
because you're thinking
swearing. I was like, who is this woman?
I know,
this
but also you're thinking,
email,
if I don't do it,
she's
going to go and do it anyway.
So obviously, that sort of email, it rubbed me up the wrong way. I was sort of in the middle of angry typing, like, who do you think you are coming at me, blah, blah, blah. And then Charlotte was like, stop. I've Googled who she is, and she's a billionaire. She's a billionaire businesswoman. And I think you're taking it the wrong way. I think she's trying to say that she wants to be a part of the business. So I kind of deleted everything that I wrote, and then was like, okay, what do you mean by this? And sent a polite email. And that's when she said, I think you're taking it the wrong way. Let me give you a phone call. What's your number? And literally she rang me within like half an hour. And I had taken it the wrong way. She wasn't saying, I'm going to bring out a product to infringe on your product. But she was saying that she invests in other companies, and that she believes in us. She's a lovely lady. She's a powerhouse in business. She does a lot to support women. So she's opened like £2 million women's shelters. She's invested in other businesses. She's a mum. She has daughters. So speaking to her, I was like, she seems like a lovely woman. And it almost sounded like something from a film where this billionaire had got in touch with you saying, I love the products. She'd ordered the product and she loved it, and she wanted to be a part of the business, and she had money she wanted to invest. And then she mentioned obviously the sum of $1 million to invest into the company. But obviously before then, she wanted us to send a lot of, our accountant to send a lot of our books and things like that.
Did you ask anything from her? Like, Did you do any due diligence on her? Can you send me this? Can you send me that?
No. So we asked a few questions. I think obviously she was telling me about herself, that they have a family business, but it wasn't in anything to do with sort of like women's products. It was a food business, but they've been around since, I think it was like the 1950s or earlier. Very, very successful £1 billion business in America. And I think, she mentioned certain things like her connections. She said, I can break down doors. She knew the founder of Victoria's Secrets, which was obviously, you're hearing all these things.
I know.
And you're
getting dazzled.
Yeah, we're like 24 months in. We're 27 years old. And I think we were just more, we were asking just mainly sort of like what she could do. And they were the wrong questions because, in hindsight now, we're well-established businesswomen. We'd be like, what other products have you brought to the market? What retail contacts do you have? And give me a product that you've, gotten into these retailers.
Or who else have you invested in? Can I speak to that person?
Exactly. So, but I think as I mentioned that there was starting to be copies, I think we just felt very much like we had to jump on this. Like it almost felt like it was this opportunity had presented itself to us just at the time when we were starting to see copies. And Charlotte and I are very much into we're quite spiritual. We're quite
divine timing.
Oh God, yeah, all of that.
For the record, I am not.
You're not into. I can tell you're not
whatsoever.
We see like a hay bale.
Yeah,
we see like a hay bale on the way here, and we're just, or like when we're on the way to.
And you were like, we're on the right path.
Yeah,
we're
going to be good because we've seen like 3 hay bale trucks. So we just felt like it was a really good time, and we kind of, like you say, one of our mistakes. It wasn't down to this individual why it didn't work out, which I'll go on to talk about, but. Yeah, we didn't do our due diligence enough. We didn't, but we were so young.
What the spiritualist would say was, it was sent to test you. The universe wanted to see if you're strong enough to cope with it.
I know. It did test us.
If you want to take the positives out of what happened.
Yeah, exactly. So we didn't ask a lot of questions. I can't sit here and say yes, we asked loads of questions because that's what I'm talking about. The experience and why you should be asking those sort of questions. So it took like 5 months. It was very much like, because we were 24 months in as young business women and sort of being like, you're going to give us all this money to grow a company. We felt very much like we needed to impress this person. So we were the ones doing the business plans. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to spend the money. And we stuck to everything that we said we're going to do. We're going to develop these new products. We're going to set up a factory in the US because we make all our products in the UK. So we commissioned factories up in the north of England. So we flew all the way to Chicago. We set up a factory over there to work in the same way. We were doing everything that we said we were going to do. But then the pandemic hit because this was 2019.
Yeah.
So for a good 2 years, we could I think we made a lot of excuses as to why things weren't sort of happening in the US. We kept saying like, is there a strategy? And then the pandemic.
Was she supposed to be helping you with strategy and like breaking down doors, to use her words, and like putting you in touch with connections, retailers? Was she supposed to be doing that? Was that her part of the bargain? Or was she just like, there's your money, see you later, you go for it?
Yeah, I think this is where it sort of rubbed us up the wrong way in some ways because it wasn't an angel investment. So it wasn't like you said, here's the money. I don't know what I'm doing. It was, we had a £10,000 shareholders agreement and she was a director of the company. So she wasn't just a shareholder. She had obligations, but in the shareholder agreement, she also had obligations for herself to set out, and the obligations outlined growth in the US, expansion into US retail. So it was outlined, and I think that's why over the years when things weren't happening, we were like, this wasn't an angel investment. We didn't give you, because at the end of the day, we didn't need $1 million. We didn't need that money.
Well, that's the thing. It's like,
we needed
how were you at that point? What were you doing figures wise after 24 months? What was your turnover?
Oh, when she invested in us, we were turning just under 300,000, and so obviously investing about 780,000.
Yeah, so you valued the business. I don't know. If she got 40% for what, $1 million?
Yeah.
What are you? I mean, you're valuing the business at like what, 2.5-ish at the time?
Well, yeah, but that was sort of out of line with like what we were actually, which did cause trouble when we were trying to obviously come to some sort of agreement, because it was like you paid more than what the business was worth at the time. So over the years, obviously with the pandemic, it's sort of like, okay, maybe that's the reason why things aren't happening. But then I got an email in 2021 and my heart just like sank, because I sent this email just saying, you know, we've stuck by everything. And at this point in 2022, post-pandemic, was when the UK side of the business hit our first 7-figure revenue. So we got about 1.3 million in that year, and that wasn't anything to do with the US. It was purely just UK, and it was all work that we'd put in. And it started to get a bit sour, because we were like, we put that work in. We spent about 50,000 of that investment in the UK, and that's it. Because we're very much like, when a successful business is doing well, you don't have to pump loads of money into stuff. It's very much like, you know, profit and loss. You get in and you get it out. So when we were handing over, you know, profit shares at the end of the year, it just didn't feel right, because half of our conversation was, we don't need this much money. We don't need $1 million. We need connections, because money doesn't work unless you work and strategy works. And it was getting to the point where, you know, I wouldn't have given this person 45% of my company if I didn't think that they were going to have input in growing it. And that's what we sort of weren't getting out. And obviously, you know, things can change. She had to step up in her company. She ended up being the CEO, and a lot, you know, that sort of took away a lot of her time. And perhaps she had these big visions, and it just didn't, you know, it didn't work out the way she thought it was going to, in terms of like what she could do with the business. And yeah, in some ways, I think we were very lucky that she is a genuinely nice person, because at the end of, you know, obviously the start of 2024, we started having these conversations. And it was actually her who presented the idea to exit. And she said, you know, over the years, you guys have worked so hard. It's your business. I need to step away. And we took a whole year of just sort of trying to come up with a figure, basically, to try and for her to walk away. And I suppose in terms of, I can't be like really dramatic and say, oh, it was horrendous, because in terms of, I suppose, someone exiting from a business, we were the lucky ones, because there was a stage where, you know, Charlotte and I said, you know, if we can't come to an agreement, you know, she's a billionaire. What, you know, could we lose our business? Like, are we gonna, you know, what if she turns around and says, well, actually, I'll buy you out, because there has been people in that position before. But we were very lucky, and obviously we wouldn't have gone into business if we thought she was a bad person, and that she was a lovely person, that she was like, yeah, just I'll take that and I'll walk away. And
I think you did well. Personally, genuinely, I think you've done well getting out of her, just buying it back for what pretty much she put in.
Well, even just, I'd say it's completely down to our team as an accolade to us, and how hard we all worked to even have that cash in the business, and for us to have grown the business to the point where we could just forego £500,000 basically in one lump sum. And over the years, she had a lot, you know, obviously profit share as well. So yeah, we kind of, I think in hindsight, it's just the time that we lost from it. You know, we were only 2 years in, and there was part of me that thinks, if we'd have just gone on Dragon's Den, you know, where would we have been? If you'd
just gone on Dragon's Den, said, no, I'm only going to give away 2% of my business. 2%
for 50 grand, because that's all we spent.
And then exactly, and then people are like, well, no, it's not going to work. Ladies, I want 25, I want 20.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, but I've got loads of marketing out of this anyway.
I know.
Then,
and maybe got into actual
retailers or whatever. Yeah. You've got Tuka going, I can give you any retailer you want in the bubble. Let's make them in China, and classic Tuka.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go on the Den either.
No. I know.
The money that they offer is, I'm not being a fucking
puny.
Billy,
I know what you mean.
Big
That's
balls
why we didn't. Yeah.
Shopify Capital offer me
more
10
than that,
times.
They're like 100,000. You're like, I'll just pay back 120 at the end of it.
Well,
or
PayPal rang me up offering me 150 yesterday. Shopify sent me an email saying we're going to give you 400. I was like, fucking hell. Like, we can give you the money now. And then Wayflyer are the most aggressive business.
Kelly was telling me, I need to get those. I need to do that.
I personally don't want the details, because I'm like, guys,
like
I tell you what, I will be on the phone if I need you.
Really?
Stop ringing me. Stop messaging me.
I thought she said they were. No, it was maybe something else.
No, well, the platform I was telling you about before, Triffin.
Oh yeah.
They're really good. This is the business I invested in. But Triffin is amazing because not only does it do cash flow and forecasts and everything like that and all these fancy little things, and then it's got an AI assistant that you can talk to like a human, which will then break down all your figures for you.
Yeah.
So you don't need a human, which is brilliant. So it keeps your wage percentage down.
Yeah.
But the other thing about it is they give you 250 grand credit.
Oh, right.
It's really cheap. So Wayflyer is very expensive.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the percentage that you'll pay back is massive.
What is the Wayflyer, the one where it's like the leaflets?
No, that's Paper Run.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so
Sorry, I'm getting
Paper Run's really good. But Wayflyer offer you money. They offer money to D2C brands, basically, if you want it for your inventory or whatever you're doing. But it's very expensive.
Yeah.
Percentage to pay back is a joke.
This is why it's good to have these conversations, because I think if I was Sammy in 2019, I'd have wanted to, because I think the thing that really annoys us is that we only spent 50,000 of that 780,000. We didn't need that money. We thought we were going to get this massive growth in America. And to the point where she was so confident, she was saying, if we hit 5 million in annual revenue in just 1 year in America, I can get an extra 5%. And we signed that. I was like, if you're making me 5 million alone just in America, then yeah, you can. But I'm like, it went from that to the American side of the business
just decimated.
Was just it wasn't making any money really. It was making money. It was it was making money the same way as if we just were doing it ourselves, previously, with the 30% that we were doing through America. It's like it hadn't really changed. So yeah, I think it's really good for businesses to know about, these little things. You don't have to go on Dragon's Den. You don't have to take it. Get an investor. You don't even need £780,000. You might just need 50. You might just need 100. And there's other ways to go about it.
Yeah,
and I
like
wish I
a
knew.
platform. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think it's like.
I like that credit line. I've not used it, but it's really, really inexpensive.
Yeah.
It's only 2%.
We're okay.
Where
I don't think
like
we'd touch anything.
Some
now.
of the
We're just
others. Some of the others are like 17%.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa. So I really like that one because if you think, oh my God, my marketing's gone too well here, shit, we need to like quick stock up quickly and you need that cash flow. It's there within 24 hours.
Oh, interesting.
And it's very, very inexpensive.
Yeah, they do say use a bank's money rather than
your own.
Your own, yeah.
Well, I'm always like, can you take Amex? Can you take Amex?
Yeah, we love Amex.
Can you? Yeah, but can you imagine? I none of my manufacturers take Amex.
Really?
Imagine if they did. Fucking hell.
I don't know. I think some of our
for marketing. Yeah. And I'm just
yeah.
Oh yeah, Google and Facebook.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, anything like that, you can bang it on the Amex because obviously you're going to accrue your points and then you get your air miles.
Yeah, I know, it's good. Yeah,
I've hit 1.3 million points now.
Oh, that's really good. I don't know.
Shows you how much I've spent as well.
No, we don't use it. We don't use it as much as we should do either, really, to be fair. Matt's always like, use the Amex. And we're like, oh, yeah.
Use the Amex for everything. Every time I go to Starbucks, I use the Amex.
Yeah, we just pop out the bank card.
Forget that.
I know. I need to
if you don't take it, I would go somewhere because they take Amex.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, I'm spending that money anyways. Might as well be accruing points.
That is true. Yeah, we do need to.
Got to. Okay, so stay away from people who are going to stick you for loads of percentage interest.
Yeah.
Make sure you use it Amex on everything.
And if you're a small business, don't give away 45% of your business.
Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Yeah. If you're a small business.
But when you're like 2 years in and someone's like, here's $1 million, I'm like, what? This is like a Netflix documentary. Just a girl starting up a business with making boob tape in a mum's living room, and then there's some billionaire like his, and I'm like, so there's a lot that obviously
in hindsight, was there any positives to having this person in the business?
Yeah, there was definitely positives. Obviously, it's easy to talk about things like a negative, but when everything came through and that 780,000 hit our bank account, then within months there was a global pandemic. So, going into a global pandemic with a safety net of £780,000. I don't think there was a lot of businesses at that time in that position. We could have essentially shut shop and still, which, felt like we did sometimes. You couldn't sell a lot of boob tape when everyone was just chilling around the houses. It just meant that we had those reserves so that when we came out of the pandemic, we launched with our Vicky Patterson campaign, which cost us, £60,000 back then. So we sort of like hit the ground running when a lot of businesses couldn't do that. A lot of businesses either went under or had to really like claw their way back up again. And I think we've been really good in sort of like knowing where to spend them. We've been really careful in terms of where we spend our money. We know what marketing works, what doesn't work. So anything that we put in, we usually get back out again, and we managed to build the bank account back up again so that we didn't really have to even go into the cash reserves, which again in hindsight is like that's why we didn't need that much, you know, in terms of
So there's a lot of guys
investment.
there's a lot of guys who run D2C businesses who I think you're very similar to me, female founder, and I'm very much I've got cash in the bank.
Yeah.
I know it's there for buffer. And I always say this, I'm expecting World War III to happen.
No, don't
and guess
say
what?
that.
I always say like, yes, we could have growth at all costs, but also you will still have a job because I will still be paying you because, you know, the business would survive because I've been
smart,
conservative with the money. Now, there's a lot of people who look at my balance sheets
and be like, why are you spending that money? Yeah.
My, you know, my advisors around me and like, well, come on, you've got the money to grow at all costs. And I'm a bit like hesitant.
Yeah. We're the same, but essentially over the years, that's done us well. Like you say, we didn't just look at that cash reserved and be like, we're going to hammer marketing during a global pandemic. And even afterwards, even now, we've got good cash reserves, and we would never just throw money at stuff. Just because you're going to throw money at something doesn't mean you're going to get it back, and you can end up having a loss. Just because you've got, you know, the money in the bank doesn't mean it's going to be effective to spend it. So
I completely agree. And there's a lot of charlatan agencies out there. And the other thing is that people don't realize is, I mean, I've been through so many agencies, and then they're looking at the ROAS. They're like, oh yeah, well, we've had this, and then we've spent this, and then this is your return on ad spend. Yeah. And I'm like, well, it's not my return on ad spend, is it? Because let's put you into the marketing mix because you cost me X, Y, Z amount of money. And then it's then we've got your email marketing and the platforms that run it that take a slice. So you've got Klaviyo that takes a slice, Shopify that takes a slice, PayPal that takes a slice.
Yeah, it's all those hidden fees.
Yeah, all my other tech stack that takes a slice of all of those sales. Let's put all that in. The ROAS will be in a negative position.
Yeah.
So if you are not, in a business like mine, it's not too bad if you don't make any money on first purchase. In fact, it's very rare to make money on first purchase in a subscription-first business. That's why it's a subscription. That's the best way to buy it, etc. Loads of different reasons for consistency as well for the customer. But yeah, that also does my head in about marketeers because they're just like, oh, we spent £1, we've got an 8 ROAS. I'm like, well, we haven't, have we? There's -3, mate. Do you know what I mean? I think that's what needs to be looked at as well. It's not just your cost of goods sold. It's the more tech that they want to put in the back end.
Yeah, exactly.
It becomes you have a balance sheet that goes like that very quickly.
Yeah, that we've been burned by a few agencies in the past, like especially in America. That's another thing that I didn't talk about when we were trying to launch in America. She was like, we just need $80,000 to launch this campaign. And we did this campaign and it was like sort of a QVC style thing. And then they were doing like, you know, the websites are just sort of sending it from there. And essentially the investment side of the US in terms of like spending money in the US, where it's £80,000 down because that made us
really expensive.
Money.
It's really
expensive,
so expensive to acquire a customer in the US.
Yeah, and it was just getting to the point where we were like, we just completely stopped and we're like, we're not doing this in America. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, we've been burned by a couple of agencies, but the one we're working with now is really good because they, like you mentioned, like they have a system in the background. So you put in all those costs. So they put their agency fee in, they want to know everything. They're like, even like your sundry costs are like, what do you spend on
exactly.
They want to see, you want to partner with people who have these in the background where it's like, they know what your overheads are. They know the fees. They know like, okay, that you might have a low 11 ROAS, but like when the person's taking off 20% off sign up, because we have a 15% sign
VAT.
up. VAT, and then Shopify, and then everything else. So yeah, so we have a separate platform where they can tell us. And so you want to work with agencies like that. We work with Prosper, and they do that because they know how, the guy who
they run it like a founder does.
Well, yeah, and he was a founder of a company. He ended up selling his company.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
what was his business?
But he's he runs it very much like, if I'm a founder, and these other agencies saying I'm doing this, and it's like just not the case. Everything you just mentioned. He's like, well, I want to be an agency who's like, what we're actually making this. Like he's literally been on the phone with me being like, if anything changes, he's like, even because I said, oh, we're getting cars in the business, he's like, I want to know how much they cost.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, but I like that though. So yeah,
of course. Working with otherwise you can't keep your head in the sand.
No, because then it's like, oh, you've made 11 ROAS, that's great. And then it's like, but then you're doing stuff a part in your own business that's driving that
Exactly.
down. So yeah, definitely
Upgrading
working
on
with
the
the right
train.
company. Upgrading to
Upgrading all the
first
time on the
class.
train because
I
I'm
know.
like, I can't sit in here.
private airport terminal.
Yeah. Well,
to fly to
I
Palma on who do you fly with? Ryanair.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Was it worth the money?
No, I wouldn't say.
What's it called?
It's called Aether.
Aether.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice in terms of you didn't feel like you were at the airport. It's like you were just chilling. They pick you
Is
up.
it how much better? I mean, because with your Amex,
Well, it was Terminal 3, so anything's better than
yeah, of course. But
if
like
it was Terminal 1, I probably
with
would
your Amex, you get free lounge anyway.
Yeah, but Terminal 3 doesn't have a lounge. That's why we did it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Terminal 3 is the worst. But
where are we going?
Yeah. Palma.
Oh,
2-hour flight on Ryanair. We did a fancy lounge experience.
Don't you get like a fancy meal?
Well, we had an omelette.
A Michelin star meal
It's like an
or
omelette.
something.
You can get 2 packages, one's a 3-course meal.
Yeah. But it was like 5 a.m. So, and there is like a bar. I'd say if you were flying in the afternoon, you could take full advantage of the bar. And then you get picked up in like a BMW, which has massage seats, and they take you around. They literally take your bags to the gate. So it was a nice experience.
I'll do it once, maybe.
Do it once.
Don't do the 3-course though.
Don't do
No.
Yeah.
The other one's fine.
Was it busy?
No, it was like us. But it was 5 a.m. But well, there's one other guy.
I don't think they've done a good marketing job.
I
of
don't
it.
think
I don't see anybody.
I didn't know about it. Charlotte told me about it.
I had seen it when it first launched, and then that was it. Never saw it again.
It is nice, but yeah, I think it was like 120 each. I don't know.
That's not
But
that
then the
bad.
airport is like the lounge is like 50, isn't it?
Not with your
60.
Amex, it's not. It's nothing.
Oh yeah, well,
Utilise that bad boy. You're paying 600 quid.
I
Well, I don't
know.
know. Are you gold or platinum?
Gold.
I pay 600 quid for mine.
We're just gold, aren't
Platinum.
we? Oh man. She's trying to upgrade us, but again, Matt.
Move up.
Well,
I love getting it out and just being like, put it on the Amex.
Charlotte's husband, he's our numbers guy. He was a quantity surveyor, very good at maths. So he's like, he's our FD basically, isn't he? Director, but also money man. So he'd be like, you don't need it. You don't need, they're going to just charge us all this money.
Well, so I get that. So it's 600 quid, but every time I use it to book a hotel, I get £100 credit in that hotel.
Do you? Oh, that was good.
And
then.
you get more points
we
per
could
spend.
do that then, because we're always we
and then I get
travel,
so if
it's like when we went to Paris and we did like a campaign in Paris.
Yeah,
we didn't have the Amex at that time. We could have booked everything on there, like
exactly.
even hotel and everything.
Well, that's the thing. So you get your points, and also, they give you credit at the hotel.
Okay.
So sometimes I'll go to the spa, get a massage, or
just
whatever.
get more out of it. Yeah.
So if I do that 6 times over the course of a year, it's paid for the card.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah, we need to pass that by.
Yeah, I bought
RFD.
products actually, cowshed products on me with me £100 spend.
Oh yeah.
And then gave them as a Christmas gift.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, yeah. We use all our points for like Christmas gifts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to go back to so you bought this lady out, and thankfully it wasn't a bloodbath.
It wasn't, but it was it happened in quite an American way. The other way I can describe it.
I'm gonna get my lawyer.
Well, she
lawyer.
has like a team of people.
Yeah.
Like she is like, she's like, I've spoken to my counsel, and then, so we had a phone call, and then basically we thought that we could do sort of like a sunset, sort of like you get this here, like 200 here, 200 here. But when we actually spoke to our lawyers, they were like, you can't do that, because I wanted 45% back straight away. I was like, I wanted the full amount. She was like, her team was saying, we'll relinquish the shares straight away. But the only way you can for her to relinquish the shares straight away, like the full amount, was just upfront cash, because otherwise it would have been, if it was like in 4 bits, then
she
that
would have still kept hold of the shares.
Yeah, and I'm like giving her money while she's then still getting profit.
Yeah.
So obviously we all sat together and we were like, we're just going to give it her up front. And I sent her an email, because we had a long phone call, but then about sort of like this, sectioning off, and then I sort of wrote her an email saying what our lawyer had said, saying that this can't really happen the way we thought. for you to relinquish the shares up front, and she wanted to just step away. We were saying like we weren't really prepared to do it that way and just give you dribs and drabs and you still be a shareholder. So we'll have to give you the money up front. But if it's going to be up front, I'd like to reduce it by 50,000. But the benefits are you'll get the money straight away. You can step back. I'm not going to be pestering you for directors. I started like really being like, you need to come to this meeting and this meeting. And, we win and we both sort of benefit that we get our shares back, you get a lump sum. And I was like a really long, well-written email and in a very professional way. And she just wrote back,
sounds good.
No, no to the above, cancel deal. She's
wow.
Could be like that. Yeah.
That's a busy lady.
Yeah, I know. She's like oh no, very fired it off. So
She used to just write the context in the subject line and nothing in the
Yeah.
So
no pleasantry.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually sometimes I really admire that in people.
Yeah, and I know she is busy. She's like, oh no, I don't
really fucking don't ask me about my weekend.
Yeah.
I don't care. I can't be asked reading all this block of text.
Yeah.
Just, what's the point of this?
I think she probably just saw the last bit and was like, no. But then I was like, okay, fair enough. But I knew she maybe didn't run it past anybody. So I just said to Charlotte, and this was a week before Christmas. So it was like the Thursday. And I was like, I really, really wanted to wrap it up that year. And it was like the Thursday and she was like, no. And I was like, we've had a year worth of discussions. And she just turned around and said, no. So I was like, okay. So I just sort of, told Charlotte, she said no. Then I kind of just said, because I was going on a spa weekend that weekend. And I said, I have a feeling she's just sent that. She's going to talk to her council and they're going to say, you're not going to get, why no for like 50,000, it's you just go for, I don't know. I just had a feeling. So I was like, she'll come back to me in a couple of days. She'll go fine. But I said, but she'll say fine, but it needs to happen tomorrow. And on Saturday, when I was like knee deep in a bottle of wine at the spa, I got this email saying, okay, fine, but it needs to happen this week. And I was like, I just laughed to myself. I was like, I knew her to that point over the last 5 years, I knew that was going to happen. So then I said to Charlotte, she said, yes, but it needs to happen this week. So we literally got in touch with our team and our lawyers and everyone that was helping with it. And we made it happen within 3 days. Everything was signed and we had the shares back by Christmas. So it's
and
like
you had the cash ready to go? Yeah,
it was just in the bank. Yeah. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it was the best Christmas present we've ever
Money
bought
well spent.
ourselves. I've never been so happy to give away nearly £400,000 in cash up front. That was what it was at the time. Yeah.
But I do go back to like, that wasn't a sound investment for her. And I think you really did well.
Yeah, because she could have
just
back
stayed
and said,
in
the whole,
and said, you know what, guys?
I might as well stay in. And,
there's no point because, I'm not
There's no
prepared
point
to
in me
lose any
going.
money. If it was me and I'm investing, I'm not looking to invest 20 grand and come back with 10. I don't want to.
No.
You know what I mean?
And she was vocal about that sort of thing. But I sort of pointed out that over the years with dividend shares, I think she was about, she kept getting confused about I was talking in UK pounds.
Right.
And then she was talking in dollars. And I kind of caught on. I was like, if you're talking about dollars, I was like, you're about 150,000 short and over 5 years. But like, there's been no input. So, but whereas we're 5 years where we haven't been able to take on, another investor or someone, you never know if anyone else could have, could have come on board and, for like say 50,000, just been like, now we're in like all the retail stores. So we'll never know really. We can't get that back, that 5 years, and she can't get back, the full amount of it. It was sort of like a lose. I don't know whether it was a lose-lose though, because we definitely, like I said, the positives were we hit the ground running post-COVID. We've only grown since then, and I'd say it allowed us to make certain decisions
through COVID as well.
Yeah, I know, and we brought out new products as well after COVID. It gave us the confidence to be like, we have this cash so that we knew that our staff were going to be okay post-COVID, and then we just it sort of gave us the confidence to make certain decisions. But when you actually look at what we actually spent, it is frustrating that we only used 50,000 for the UK. But then obviously, throughout COVID, it was a massive safety net, and it did help us, stay afloat essentially.
So if anybody is in a similar situation, small business, and they're getting, let's say they get an email off somebody that's an offer that sounds too good to be true, what would you say?
Well, I would just say if it happened again, so if I was like to get the time machine back and I got this email saying, I want a slice of the pie, I'd be like, okay, I'd do more due diligence. I wouldn't just be trying to impress I wouldn't be saying, here's our business plan. Oh, you give us this money and we'll do this. Especially if it wasn't an angel investment and they were going to have obligations, they were going to have 2 seats at the board, on the board of directors. I would say, well, if you're going to have a place on the board and you're going to be actively trying to grow the company, what products have you taken on, or what brands have you taken on in the past, and how have you grown them? Have you launched them into retailers? What's your portfolio like in terms of that? What connections do you have that would give us a fast track to the US market? And although she did speak about things like that, like her products, their food products were in Walmart, and she said she knew the founder of Victoria's Secrets, but obviously none of this transpired, nothing came of that, so they're just words. So I think I would, I don't know, try and get a little bit something more concrete in terms of her business plan and actual connections, and ask for their details so that I could personally, she probably wouldn't release them, before anything, but I don't know, it's really hard, because again, it's, sometimes it is people's words, I am just going to do this for you.
Or just maybe speak to somebody who kind of
so has worked
maybe
with
like
her.
a UK based person that does invest in businesses, and you go to them and say, well, we've been presented with this deal and she wants 45% of the business for this amount of money, and they would go back, go renegotiate maybe. This is what I would do. I don't know.
She wanted 50 at first.
Yeah, well, there you go. Renegotiate back down to 10.
Yeah.
One seat at the table, or no voting, or just an angel, or whatever. Yeah. I don't know, but I think, you live and you learn, don't you?
I think the trouble was as well, because we were 2 years in and I'd never run a business. So when you're a young business person, you do I feel like it's only like when you get old, not only older, but when you've been running a business for longer, I think you step into your power a bit, and you realize what you give and what you bring. Whereas when you're in the early days, I would say you don't have as much confidence.
So
you can easily jump at the wrong opportunities by thinking, oh, well, they're saying this to me now, I need to jump at this, and they believe in me. And you kind of, take it as this huge compliment that you're only 2 years old and that this person wants to invest this money. And I feel like we got blindsided by that, I think. And also the fact that we weren't well-seasoned business women like we are today. So we weren't as ruthless. We didn't ask those questions. So if you are like 2 years in and you see a lot of what I just said in yourself, and you think, well, oh yeah, I wouldn't know what to ask, or if that presented itself to me, I'd jump at that and I wouldn't probably think about all those things, then it's just sort of like, fake it till you make it. Just try and pretend that you do have confidence, and that you understand that you bring a lot to the table. And we should have, because she wouldn't be investing that much money if she didn't believe in us. So we should have sort of taken a step back and thought, well, if that's the case and she sees the value in us, then we've already impressed her. So what can she bring to us?
The other thing is, I think it doesn't stop with people just wanting to invest. There are bullshitters everywhere, and everyone.
Smoke and mirrors.
There is fucking sharks circling around you all the time. I don't know if you ever turn up to like D2C events or like, speakers events, and there's like tech partners everywhere in the room.
They just want you
who are just preying on founders. We've got the latest, greatest tech. We're going to say
I just get spam all the time.
Same, spam all the time. But then I've got a WhatsApp group with like 12 girls in there. And we just call out bullshitters all the time. We should come in it, actually.
Yeah, you'd invite me.
Absolutely, because we're like, no, the scammer here, girls, blah, 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 right? I can tell you the names of them.
To be honest, that's why.
PRs, right?
That's why when Prosper got in touch with me, our agency now, he, bless him, he was literally messaging me, not really spammy, which is what I liked about them. It was only a couple of times throughout the year. But again, I'm very used to kind of just being like, no, another agent, no. And it was only like when I saw on social media, it was like an ad, and it was like a brand talking about them. And then I went on LinkedIn and I was reading up, and I was like, oh, this agency looks really good. And then it was Matt, because he got emailed as well, and he was like, this is the people who've been writing to us, and you've been ignoring them for a year. And I was like, oh no, they actually look really good. But I think it's just like, it feels like cold calling, but via email, doesn't it? So again, it's like I only sort of paid attention when I saw another brand talking about them.
I've seen that ad, and I know who you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
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 And it caught my eye as well, because it was quite a good ad.
They're really
But,
good.
yeah, I'm happy with my marketing agency now,
I'm not
which is
trying to-
which is pretty good. But yeah,
but like
there are
you say,
so
yeah,
many bullshitters
Yeah.
out there.
it's hard to know.
I would say the biggest bullshitters, right, are PRs and marketers.
Oh yeah, we've had bad experience with
Yeah,
them.
well, there
Yeah.
was one that enraged me so much. I
Really?
thought, so first of all, first few phone calls,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I mean, like, you've got a great story as a founder, like, you're so fierce and bold, you're a powerhouse, you've done this, you've done that.
Was this to like get you into like press and
absolutely,
stuff, like
all
your
that
traditional
shit,
press?
right? All that.
It
Well,
looks
she
glamorous,
should
doesn't it? But
know-
really, it
she
doesn't
should
mean
know
anything.
that
You don't
that
get anything from
attitude-
it.
Yeah, so that attitude that has got me in this position today is exactly the same attitude that I'm going to take with her, especially if she
Okay.
doesn't fucking deliver on what she says. And
Fair
she
enough.
obviously didn't deliver.
Oh, didn't she?
No, she was like, she was doing US press for us, right?
Oh, okay.
And she was like, yeah, I've been in touch with Push and American Vogue and blah, 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 all this shit. I went,
You
no,
end up just like hemorrhaging money. Like, where's the results? What's
I
going on?
just said, can you just do me a
Yeah.
favour and send me an email that you've sent to them? Can you just show me some evidence of any work that you've done?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm going to send you a list soon. Right, this list that was always coming was
no.
next week. Never saw it. And she'd taken nearly 20 grand off me at this point. And I
No.
I
Was
went,
it rolling monthly?
I went mental.
Yeah.
And I was like, and at this point, she was back in the UK. I thought, fuck you. I'm going to go, I'll fucking
Really?
drive down to London and rag you round by the hair.
Was she American?
No, she's
I
English.
was gonna say it's always Americans who are
And you
like,
should,
"Ugh."
and so I'll fucking name her as well. It just outraged me that much.
Really?
So
Let me know. So if
she's
she
called,
gets in touch
she's
with me,
called
I'd like-
Amy.
Oh, okay.
But I just thought, who the fuck do you think you are,
Yeah.
you cheeky
So
bastard?
she's literally not.
Sorry for swearing so much.
She's
but
actually not even.
she did one piece of work.
That's crazy.
So then she said, so she made me spend. So I spent 50 boxes of our product over to America, and then she was like, "Oh, we've gifted.
This
loads-
sounds similar to what we've
gifted loads of people at Coachella and blah blah blah, all this shit. We're doing a whole gifted influencer suite." I said, "No problem. Can you send me
Send
the
us
list?
pictures.
Can you send me the pictures
Yeah.
or send me the list of the people you gifted to? Because what we like to do as a brand is follow up with them and blah
You
blah
like
blah.
relationship building,
build relationships. Yeah, I'll send it to you. Yeah, I'll get it to you Monday morning. Yeah, always this more blah 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 blah." Then she was like, "I don't like your tone." I went, "Don't be manipulative. You don't like my tone because I'm holding you accountable for the work you
Yeah.
haven't done. Are you joking?"
So
Like,
was it like a scam? Has she actually done anything?
she didn't do one thing. She couldn't produce one bit
That's
of evidence
really
of any
bad.
work. And I was just like, honestly, you don't
Yeah.
understand who you're dealing with, because the fucking powerhouse that you wanted, right, will also take you to task. Right? So,
Yeah.
and I just was absolutely all over. And I was like, I want every single bit of money back.
That's good though. I feel like we should have been like that a bit more with.
Well, this is why now. So all the lessons to be learned
Yeah.
from this podcast are, and that comes with confidence,
Yeah, and
doesn't it? Because
Yeah.
in year one, I've just
I
got
wouldn't do that in my early 20s.
I've got walked.
But now I'm 34. I'm like
walked all over.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, who are you? What are you delivering? Where are
Yeah.
your deliverables? No problem. What time frame are you doing it in?
Yeah.
Can I just put in the contract that if you don't deliver on this, I'm going to have all of the money back?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And
Contracts
that's
like that,
otherwise
yeah.
we don't work together.
Mhm.
And that's the reality. Don't be afraid of holding these people to account, because they
Yeah.
are absolute liars.
Yeah, we had an experience similar to that, but we didn't really say anything like in terms of like holding them accountable. But they're an agency, and they must have been a bit shocky because when they got in touch with us saying like, we can help grow you in America, we'll get you into Nordstrom, we'll get you into Macy's. We're
Yeah.
like, okay, and it was $4,000 a month just for them to be reaching out to people.
Another lesson: I don't pay retainers.
Yeah, so we don't anymore. Other
Project
than,
by project.
if we do
that's
a retainer, it's like we've got you can have 4 weeks notice. It's
Yeah.
never like a year thing. Whereas this was quite like I think it was like a 4-month thing. She's like, yeah, that's fine, because like I know you'll be so happy that you won't be cancelling. But we still had 4 months, and like so 4, 8, 12, about 16,000.
Yeah.
And again, at the end of it, I was like, you're
Zero.
just saying that you're contacting
Yeah.
Nordstrom and Macy's, and she's like, oh yeah, these things can take about time, and I'm like, time, but then in
What
a
you pay
year's
for,
time,
sorry, we're paying for results.
yeah. So and then when we stopped working, I was like, that we don't see how this is working at all. And then we launched Bouncy Blade Band a couple of years ago, and she had no idea that we were that was our brand.
Oh.
And we got a message from them, didn't we? On Instagram being like, we can help grow you in America. And I was just like, absolutely not.
Don't ever
So it's just
email
like,
this
hey,
email
yeah,
again.
I was like, it's actually, we worked with you before on Perky Bear. I said, we had an awful experience, so absolutely not.
Well,
But
I apparently have a bit of a reputation that I'm difficult to work with. I was like, I'm not difficult to work with. I give everyone.
Not
There you
if
go. There's all your
not
rope.
if you do what we ask.
There's
you
all
to do.
your rope. There's all the cash that you want. Okay.
I
And
feel
I'm
like-
expecting to see the job you're
Results,
telling me
yeah.
you're doing. And if you don't, I'm sorry. If I didn't, you know what I mean? Then
Yeah.
I'm having the cash back. It's
Yeah.
as simple as that.
I
So
think-
I'm not difficult to work with. I'm
No,
really
you just want your
upfront.
results. Yeah, I think that again, like it definitely comes with age, and it definitely comes with like being in the business
And also it
for a
comes from,
while.
do you know how
and
long
also-
it takes me to earn 20
yeah,
grand?
yeah, and you start thinking like I'm giving you that, and like I want to see results, and I think
They
sometimes
better be sweating for it,
I know.
bleeding for it. And that's the mentality that you also need to
yeah,
have
100%,
with all
that's
of
the push.
these people. I've got another agency where I was supposed to have a call with just before this podcast. Actually, I said, no, I'm on a podcast. But again,
Yeah.
I'm like, there is no conversation. Just
No.
a refund at this level will do.
Yeah,
That's another 14 grand.
yeah, that's crazy.
For no work.
I
for a
that's-
website that's
I
not
think that's why if we do work
materialised.
with people now, it'd be like you can have 4 weeks notice if we ever like the contract would be like we're not ever doing like you're in it for 6 months, you're in it for a year. It's like we say we're not happy, we're literally ending it. Even then it's annoying that it's 4 weeks, but most of the time they try and like do it at least 4 weeks. But also just like with the agency we're with now, it's just nice that behind the scenes like we see the system and being like, and we know it's working just because even on month 1 like everything was.
I agree. When you get a really
just
nice
you have to get them.
agency-
Yeah, but they need the tech to support it. Don't
Yeah.
they? Like if you have like complete visualization. That's not the word I'm looking for. Like transparency, and you can see. You know, they've got this system and it's like all your costs and their costs are on there and all the fees are on there and you're like, there's basically nowhere to hide. So they call themselves growth partners. And like, unless you have a growth partner and someone who's like, I'm going to show you like
they're basically
the actual margins, like an in-house, outhouse.
Exactly. So it's just
Yeah.
an external kind
Yeah.
of.
But
head of growth.
but like you say, it's been for us. It's been 8.5 years, and it's taken 8.5 years to even find somebody like that. But hopefully, agencies are starting to. Like, I know that the
they've got
founder.
to.
Well, he did it because obviously he was a business owner, and he obviously knows that there's a lot of agencies out there giving them a
And
bad
the whole
rap.
point is, you literally, I swear to God, now most of them will be obsolete anyway because now Meta
These days,
AI,
yeah.
Google AI is well
know.
better than any manual
As
crap
soon
that
as
they do.
ChatGPT can run a Facebook ad,
Well, it pretty much
probably can now.
It
Yeah.
can.
Well, you just put in everyththing and they just do it. Yeah.
So you've got to have a partner that overarches
who
that.
over? Yeah, definitely.
So like there's more long-term thinking
Yeah.
of brand, which is what I've got now.
yeah,
Because honestly, you could hire a kid
yeah.
freelancer for like 120 quid a day to do
To use
what
it,
some of those
yeah.
other agencies have been
Yeah.
doing. And I have been burnt by them too.
Yeah.
What does my head in is when they ask
I
me for
agree.
a testimonial and I'm
I
like,
know.
are
Oh,
you
no.
dreaming?
I think it's
Do you
hard
not
as well
want
when you're trying to give advice to other business owners as well. If they've just like launched a year ago or 2 years ago, it's hard almost to say, oh well, actually, in 8 years' time, you're gonna have to make loads of mistakes, work with loads of people, loads of bullshitters. You spend a lot of money before you actually know what's
Yeah.
going to work. Because I think sometimes people expect to launch a business and everything that they're doing is going to just be effective straight away, or they're going to make certain decisions and it's just going to, be effective and they're going to make loads of money. But sometimes it's like you lose money, and it's taken us 8.5 years until we found like we've got like the perfect recipe, and you've been burnt by people, so you know what to ask this time, whether it's with investors, whether it was with agencies.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's hard sometimes, and I don't think people are real sometimes. When you're a business person, when they're giving advice.
I just say no. If they
Yeah.
don't want to do it, well, first of all, my dad fires them a letter. He's a solicitor.
Oh, really? Is he? Oh,
Yeah,
that's good.
and then the next protocol is fucking tell you what, no worries. You'll get leathered on LinkedIn now. You're going to
Yeah.
get leathered all over there,
Yeah.
and no one will want to work with you again because I'll detail
Yeah.
exactly what you're doing, plus the emails and all the receipts.
Exactly.
And that's also, I'm like, I'm not. Who the fuck do you think
I
you're
know.
talking to? Sometimes,
But when you're like young and like 2 years in, you don't have that attitude.
I know, but
And I hear
and
so many people go on podcasts, like business owners going
Yeah.
on podcasts and sort of being like, oh, you just need to do this, this, and this. And I'm like,
It's
you
it-
also,
yeah,
you
but
kind of need
it's-
to tell people as well that you are probably going to you probably are going to spend money and with the wrong people. But
Yeah.
it takes that for you to learn lessons, expensive lessons.
It is
But
expensive.
sometimes there's no blueprint to success, and there's no all you can do is obviously, like say, do your due diligence, check people, ask who they've worked with, and get in touch with them. But yeah, almost like just you have to always dive deeper to be like,
I just feel
Are you
like
okay?
they try and insult my intelligence sometimes. And that's what I find the most infuriating. You are insulting me now.
Yeah.
So I tell you what, like,
especially if you've been around, it's like you've been around for a lot, like you've worked with people. They act like you've never worked with an agency before, and like had
act
experience
like-
of like you know when people are actually honest or not.
Facebook marketers try, and what they tell you they're doing is they try and make it sound like it's some magical bullshit that you couldn't do. It's just that you haven't got time to do it, because you could easily do it. I'm looking at some of these people thinking, you couldn't do it. You couldn't do what I do, pal.
Yeah.
So I know I could do that if I'd put my mind to it. I could probably learn it on YouTube in about 2 hours. But it's just I haven't got the time to do it.
Yeah.
And they try and like, oh, see, you're not looking at this. See, your cost of
I
impressions.
hate the emails that you get and they go, I've been on your website and I can see. We have emails where it's, you know what I mean? It's like,
your
and
conversion could be better, and your email
I've done you a
chain
customized video, basically slating your whole website, and I'm like, I've literally just transferred to an agency, and he's already like looking at everything, and like I know we're fine, and also he was like, we can see that you've. I was like, how do you know you don't know what my conversion rate is? How can you possibly know? And it's only if you know how it works that you're like, you can't know my conversion rate. Like there's no way you can just go on a website and know my conversion
Yours
rate.
is a beautiful product in the fact that it's a need. There's a genuine need.
If you're
there.
wearing this, I need it.
You need this product. It's like if you've got a blister, right?
You need a plaster.
You then go, right, I need to go to Boots, I need to go and buy a blister plaster. And it's like you need to sort it right.
It's like
then
an
and
impulse
there.
product.
Yeah. So you would imagine your conversion is really high.
Yeah.
Because your intent to purchase is just there. You need that product.
Yeah. And I think obviously over the time, like we launched on Amazon only 2 years ago, and that's been huge as well. But it's like just getting in front of, because for a long time we were only doing influencer marketing, which is crazy, but it worked really well for us in the first couple of years, which I spoke about last time I came on. But obviously people like Facebook ads and even Google, like they hated us. Google classes our website as an adult site.
Really?
So we had to set up a whole separate site. So we have an outlet site. So on Google Shopping, it's a separate outlet site, which doesn't have like the videos, the nudity. So we've had a lot of hurdles to jump in, but for a long time, obviously I don't know how to do those things. So for a long time, we kind of shied away. We were like, we're just going to, build our community. And we got to 7 figures before we even did Facebook ads. But at the time, influence marketing was like hugely influential and effective, but obviously there has been a bit of a shift in that recently. So yeah, it's taken a long time to actually find an agency that's helped us.
So what are your tactics now? You're still doing influencer marketing?
So this year we I think 1 year we spent 100,000 on influencer marketing. I think not last year, year before. This year I think we've spent less than £10,000.
Wow. And you're still growing?
We've done our best year ever.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. We're 123% up this month compared to last year.
Wow.
But that's, again, working with the right agency. Like you say, even with our Facebook ads and our Google. On our Google ads, it's like 11 ROAS. But like you say, that sounds great. But obviously they've got this platform where it's like, we've obviously made sure that in the background, we're doing the right things, our margins and things like that, our product costs. We've invested in our own machinery. So now we cut our product, we don't commission other factories in the UK. We
do it yourselves.
Yeah, we manufacture in-house now. So obviously that's helped. So yeah, a lot of our focus this year has been sort of like the fundamental, like bread and butter marketing. And I know there's a lot to be said in building a community, doing the odd influencers. We are actually putting marketing and influencer spend back in next year, just but in a different way, more like micros and like not so much really big, sort of like 1 million followers. We're sort of doing some of them that we know work, and people that who have been very
the thing is as well,
supportive of us.
If you've used some people before, they've probably got audience fatigue.
Yeah, and that's
so
what sort of ended up happening. Like
use different people now.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, go back to the American strategy.
Yeah, I mean, we've over time, when we work with people who, we always work with people who love our products. So sometimes we'll do a series, but we notice that, especially ambassadorships, we haven't done another ambassadorship purely because when it's 6-month ambassadorship and they're posting twice a month, by month 3, everyone's
People
just
seeing it, yeah.
So even though we do still work with the same people, we kind of we're going to be spacing them out, and also just with the rise of TikTok, people just want like someone who has like 5,000 followers or 10,000 followers talking about it. So we're definitely putting it back in, but there's less of a focus. We used to use influencer marketing as like acquisition and like try and think of that, try and get a return of ad spend on it, which is crazy because you don't really get that now. So now it's purely just like your community building, your brand awareness, and making sure that the right people are seeing it. But largely our acquisition now is like your bread and butter, like your paid search, your paid social, and Amazon. We do a lot of Amazon ads, which is really effective because on Amazon you're only getting in front of people who are searching boob tape, breast tape. Like you say, our conversion rates are good because it's purely people being like, I need this product. And across summer it's just like this, and then now it's like this. We're in our worst month at the moment. Well, we're about to go into it. October.
What about going hard on retail?
So when I first started Perky Pear, I had a lot of people obviously offering advice like they do when you start a business, and people were saying, for this type of product, because I guess largely breast tape products were just straight from China onto eBay. They weren't even in retail. A lot of these things you couldn't even really get hold of easily. So we were the first brand to sort of be in this category where it's like boob tape, but it's not just a faceless product, it's an actual brand. And we wanted to grow it in sort of like a way that fashion brands grew it. So we didn't want to predominantly just be retail based. We wanted to build our own community, and it's I'd say that's been the reason for our success. And I think the wrong assumption would be for people to think if you've got a product that you need to get it into a retailer. And I've sat with so many product-based businesses. No,
I know. I'm just thinking.
And I've always said, because if we'd have done that, and then it, like, for instance, pandemic, we were 70% D2C, 30% retailers. Post-pandemic, Misguided went down in the style. It was like dropping like flies. Fast fashion is having its hard time. If we'd have been predominantly retail, our business probably would have gone down.
I'm just thinking, like, so I'm in Selfridges. I bought a Victoria Beckham dress. It's backless.
Yeah.
And the lady at things, oh yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah. Have you thought about wearing these? It's a backless dress, isn't it? By the way, have you looked at buying one of these like Perky Pear things to wear it with? And then like in the retailer,
you'd think that would be the way,
like, where you would. I feel like if you stocked a few of those places, because that would have been maybe the first time I'd heard of the brand. I buy it with the dress.
That's in store. So obviously, like,
it, and then I'm in. I love the brand that I buy it from. You D2C.
That's well. Because when we launched, obviously we were on mainly online retailers, which again they can take advantage because they do upsell it. So if you bought anything like that, it's like a digital version of what you've just said. But in terms of in-store, post-pandemic, trying to get in-store anywhere.
What about wedding dresses?
Yes, but shops? We have, like, they just shop.
Oh, they just do
So
it.
we have a boob boutique. So they don't want to buy in bulk, but they can get in touch with us, and they have a personalized password. Right, so they have access to our boob boutique, which they can kind of get like bulk products for lower cost. So that's all sorted. It's very like automatic, and I'll go in I won't be in wedding boutiques ever because I've only ever needed to go once, but there's little boutiques as well. So it's not just wedding boutiques. It's like when you're just sort of like a smaller, say, dress shop, or there's one on there's one on All the Edge High Street, which I go in, and I walked in and they were stocking, and I didn't even know because it's just, they just get in touch, and then our team just send them the password, and then they can shop. So that's that. But then I say post-pandemic, trying to get into a retailer. And also when you say things like maybe not Selfridges because there are brands there, but for us as a customer, like it's one of those things where if you want boob tape, you're not really going to Selfridges.
I think it needs to be put in your mind by the person who's working there. So you just need to, like, I don't know, just get in with the staff.
Yeah, so we do like
upsell.
There was a stylist actually at your event on Tuesday.
Oh, Martine.
She was like, she was shopping at Harvey Nicks, and then the stylist was like, you need to go to Perky Pear. So we do get recommended a lot, but it's funny, a lot of these like we just don't stock it where it's like we know it wouldn't fly off basically. And a lot of like other stores, like, can't really say too much at the moment, but people we've been speaking to recently, a lot of the times they want to do own brand. So a lot of people don't know that we actually do white label as well. Okay. So if you just like M&S, we don't do M&S, and it's like the nipple covers, etc.
Right.
Like,
I'm with you.
So we've started doing that for the brands, and we're in talks with some really big ones at the moment, which I can't talk about.
Okay.
But I'm happy for you to use that. But So we do certain things, but like in terms of like the Perky Pear, it just seems better where it's like you say, it's an impulse product. You want to get people who are searching it. So like online for that is really good, because obviously it's like you need boob tape, here you go, rather than if you're in Selfridges, you might just be more than likely just browsing. You're not sort of in, for a specific reason. That's like TK Maxx. We launched into TK Maxx last year, and it didn't fly out the way it would online, in terms of like if you're in PLT and you've got a dress and then they're upselling you this, because when you go to TK Maxx, again, a lot of time you browse it, you don't really know why you're in TK Maxx. You just go to TK Maxx and you're like, I'll just see what takes my fancy. So it's people say these things, and it's sort of like it really, really massively depends on the sort of customer, what they're actually going into that store for. So our way into retail at the moment is more white label, and a lot of people in terms of stocking brands, they'll do that on their online platform where they know that they can pump SEO into it, and we have a lot of searches and a brand awareness, so anyone type in Perky Pear, they'll pop up for that, rather than people just sort of coming in, walking around, and so it's sort of a lot of consumer behavior around. If we're not in a place, it's usually due to a reason.
Of course. Okay, and then before you go, because we're going to wrap up in a minute, but you are like obsessed with new product development, which is brilliant. You are like a little inventor. What have you got coming up?
Well, we can't say too much, but next year, as in like spring, because we've got loads of shoots coming up, we have another tape product, which I can say, but it's not like what we currently sell. So obviously boob tape, it's beige, it's black, quite medical looking in a way. So we're kind of going to be bridging the gap between lingerie and tape. So
sounds exciting.
That's what we're doing. That's going to launch in the spring, which will be really good for bridal. That's all I'm going to say. And then coming up to the end of the year, we're going to do quite a big event. You'll be having all sorts thrown at you.
Thank you.
And another shoot. We're kind of not doing a rebrand, but I've just signed off all our new packaging, so all our colours are a lot more muted, so that's all sort of happening next year, as well as two products launching in the autumn.
Both like innovative in
the way that it's taken 3 years.
Wow.
And it's been really hard to create. It's been the most technical. Right. It's not a tape, and even my manufacturer has taken 3 months just to try and get a sample of what I'm asking for, because she's like, no one's asked for this before. What Perky Pear are known for is we don't just pump out any old product, like kind of like you, where it's like you have like you could sell anything. You could sell eye patches, anything related to health and wellness. There's so much shit that we could sell, like that I see on other people's websites, whether it's like the strap-on bras and things like that, which just loads of products, and we won't sell them unless we think there's a place for them, whether we've tried and tested them, if we're going to wholesale them in, we've tried and tested them and I think there's a place for them and that they're actually effective, or, which is most of our products, we design them in-house and we get them made, and they're not cheap. So the products we're working on which we're going to be launching next autumn, they're going to take us more for there's going to be more solutions available, and they're going to be better than what's on the current market, even like the £1 billion brands that are out there. Little old Perky Pear, we're going to come through with a better product.
I love this.
Than them.
And I'm going to be in. I just know I'm going to be in.
It's in the middle of being like patented.
Okay,
so good. I can't say or show anything.
Okay.
But it's going to be a really exciting year. And then from that, it's almost going to be a range. So autumn, there's going to be 2 products. And then in the spring, summer, there's going to be even more products, but that takes you to, it's crazy as a business, and you're like, that takes you into 2027.
Do you ever feel like this, right? So like,
we have a calendar like 2027, and Charlotte's like, how are we thinking about 2027?
Tell me about it, because it's just like, and your life flashed before your eyes, because you're always in the future.
Always, you're
always thinking in the future.
And you feel bad because you're like, I don't want to be in the future. It's like, my son's going to be 5 that year, and I'm like, I don't want it. I want it to almost I want to be there because we're so excited. We want to launch these things, and we want them to just be out, and we always have a vision of where we want to be. But then at the same time, my son is also going to be 5, and I don't want him to be 5.
I've listened, I hear you so much,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, where has the year gone?
No.
How are we in October already? And it's just
know.
like makes me sad because I think, what have I done this year? And then you look back and you think, well, you've done
yeah.
a lot, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I can't
you
remember
have
enjoying
you're about
any
to launch an
minute.
amazing
I
collagen
know,
bar.
but I can't remember enjoying one bit of it yet.
Yeah. Well,
I feel like I
sometimes
go,
you need to take a step back. Yeah.
I don't know
Because we
when
said the
that'll
same
be.
this year. We were like, we haven't really done anything this year because in terms of like, normally we do photo shoots. Last year we did a photo shoot and we launched our sweetheart tape. I'm like, this is the first year we haven't actually launched anything sort of like that we've designed, and we haven't done a new photo shoot, whereas next year we have 2. So it's like, but then we were sitting and we're thinking, we have done though. It's like been our best year yet because we've really like refined. It's like we've taken what we currently sell, refined everything, and obviously like, you know, put all our new ad strategy out there, kind of solidified that, and now we're ready to launch more and sort of implement those strategies that we've implemented this year for the new products. So sometimes you just need a year to just be like, okay, let's sort our shit out.
Yeah, listen, if I know you, it's going to be a smash hit. It will be. I just know it will be. You do.
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
And I'm glad
I
that you
could just show you.
No, I know, and I'm glad that you're thoughtful about your products because again, now you own all your business again. This is also important to me. Like, it's your time, it's your money, it's like all your effort.
And that's another thing that was
shit
becoming
in a bag and sell it.
I know, and sometimes her input would be like, "Oh, why don't we sell this?" And she'd send me these products, and I'm like, "Because they're shit.
Crap.
I'm not selling it. I'm not putting Perky Pear's name on it." Even to the point where when TK Maxx were asking for certain products, I was like, "We can do them for you, but we did it under a different brand name." I was like, "We can do it, but I'm not putting Perky Pear's name on it because it'd be like, you know, just like a bra insert." Something. I'm like, I just don't want. We could because we're a bra. Maybe it makes me a bad businesswoman that I'm just not pumping all these.
No,
products.
I think it shows a little bit of integrity. And there isn't enough of
we
that
want
out there.
people to know that Perky Pear, if you're going to bring out something, it's because it's good, or we've innovated and done it ourselves. But yeah, then that's why it got toxic really with our partnership, because it was with you know, being so innovative and me sort of creating new products. Even when we were doing the sweetheart tape and other products that we've just touched on, it was getting to the point where I was like, I'm going to set up my own company and lease the ideas because I'm like, why should she benefit? And that's when it was getting toxic, and I was like, we can't work like this. This is my baby, and I'm not even gonna, you know, I can't create products under that name anymore because it didn't feel fair. So yeah, like you say, it's all ours now. So expect a lot of new innovative products. Yeah, I just feel like we're just getting started again, which is exciting.
Oh, good. Good. Well, I'm really pleased for you. I really am pleased for you. And honestly, I feel like you have come in very positive and that, you know, 2026 is going to be incredible for you. Yeah, no, you should. Well done.
Thank you.
I don't think enough people tell, you know,
I know
female founders, well done, because I know it's very difficult. I know you've got a child. We've got like a child at like similar
age,
stage, and I don't know how you feel, but I feel like I'm losing my mind most of the time, and it is very difficult.
Yeah, well, he's in preschool. It's just hard to juggle it all because you're like, there's always a cap, isn't there? It's like really getting into something, then you're like, oh, it's 4 o'clock. I need to go.
You've got to go.
Yeah,
I know. But yeah, no, I appreciate you coming in and talking to me about it.
It's been really fun. It's been nice to speak a little bit more candidly and sort of like, you know, I don't think enough female founders talk about like struggles and like the in-depth of like it, you know, sort of advice. Sometimes it's all very much like, this is what I did and this is what we do, but there's so many mistakes and lessons that you learn, and you almost like, even if you're aware of them, you're probably still going to make them. But I think podcasts are bigger now as well. So back then it's not even like I had a podcast like this to listen to, and I wish I did. I wish I could sit and listen to you going,
this is
have
the strength
have the
to
balls
push back.
to say no.
Have the balls to renegotiate.
Yeah.
I mean, there's this guy who is like real big deal. Like, you know what I mean? A girl from JP Morgan put me onto him, a recruiter. Massive deal, this guy. And he was so expensive. And I was thinking, oh my God. And I was just like, sorry, Paul, I'm not agreeing to that.
Yeah.
And then he was like, right. I said, well, you should have expected that from my disruptive attitude.
What was he for? What was
he's helping me recruit team members.
Yeah.
And he was like, you're right. I should have expected the way you do work is not. And I was like, yeah. So I was like, if we work on my terms or we don't work together, that's it. We'll stay friends. And he So he renegotiated
Yeah.
and we've sorted it. But
Oh, that's good.
I think, the biggest advice I can give is don't be afraid to go back and renegotiate.
Don't sell yourself short either.
No.
And know that you've got, like, if someone's coming to you wanting something from you, just most of the time they just want money. But also, like, if they like see the value and they want to be involved, then it's like, don't try and impress them. They want to get involved with you for a reason.
Yeah.
So just ask more questions. Stand in your power.
Very, very true. Thank you so much, Sammy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.